Hello and welcome at Leez Reading Corner. Reading Contractmarriage with My Secret Partner in Crime. Written by Ace, Chapter 4. Up or Down. Kendrick sprinted towards the venue, weaving through the small crowd gathering outside, his heart pounding. Not just from the rush, but from the mix of excitement and guilt gnawing at him for cutting it so close. As he neared the entrance, he spotted them, his mother and sister, standing just outside. "Mom, Levy, why are you still out here? Isn't the ceremony about to start?" he asked, slightly breathless. Levy turned towards him, arms crossed, her graduation gown draped neatly over her shoulders, her dark brown eyes identical to their mother's, narrowed in mock annoyance. "Bro, where have you been? We've been waiting forever." Kendrick scoffed, grinning as he adjusted the cuff of his jacket. "Forever? Please, I'm here right on time." Levy rolled her eyes. "Barely. 1 more minute and you would have missed my big moment. Do you even care about your favorite sister?" Kendrick smirked. "You're my only sister. By default, you're my favorite." Levy groaned. "That's not the point." Their mother, Christy Montclair, chuckled as she watched them bicker. Unlike Kendrick, whom had inherited striking blue eyes from their late father, both she and Levy shared dark brown eyes and sleek dark hair, dressed elegantly for the occasion. She smiled warmly. All right, let's go inside," Christy said, placing a gentle hand on Levy's shoulder. "Your brothers made it, and that's what matters." Levy huffed, but couldn't hide the small smile tugging at her lips. "Fine, but if you weren't here, I would have made you suffer for it." Kendrick laughed. "Oh, I have no doubt. Now, let's go before you miss your own graduation." They hurried into the grand hall, where rows of seats were filled with families and friends. The stage was beautifully decorated and excitement buzzed in the air as graduates took their seats, their black gowns crisp and neatly pressed. Kendrick leaned over. "Nervous?" Levy scoffed. "Please, do I look nervous?" "You look like you're trying really hard not to look nervous." Levy elbowed him lightly, but a flicker of anticipation crossed her eyes. "I've worked too hard for this. No way am I messing up now." Christy smiled at them both. "I'm so proud of you, Levy. No matter what, just enjoy the moment." Levy's eyes softened at her mother's words, and she gave a small nod. The ceremony proceeded smoothly, each graduate stepping onto the stage to receive their diplomas. Then the announcer's voice rang out. "And now for the valedictorian of this year's graduating class, Levy Montclair." The hall erupted into cheers. Kendrick and Christy clapped proudly as Levy strode confidently onto the stage. Kendrick cupped his hands around his mouth. "That's my sister!" Levy accepted her award with a poised smile, delivering a short but heartfelt speech that left both her mother and brother beaming with pride. After the ceremony, as families reunited and graduates celebrated, Kendrick threw an arm around Levy's shoulders. "All right, Miss Valedictorian. What's the plan? Big celebration? Free food, I hope?" Levy smirked. "Oh, we're definitely celebrating, and you're definitely paying." Kendrick groaned. "Why did I walk right into that?" Christy chuckled. "Because you love your sister." "Debatable," Kendrick teased, but he gave Levy's shoulder a small squeeze. Across the city, Zephany walked through a dimly lit alley, her boots clicking softly against the pavement. The silence here was a stark contrast to the lively streets outside Air Media, the prestigious media company where she worked as an entertainment journalist. She knew this alley too well by now. What baffled her was how the hidden entrance to her other life, her life as Eclipse, was tucked away right behind the very company where she spent her days chasing headlines. It was convenient, sure. If she ever needed to switch between Zephany and Eclipse on short notice, she wouldn't have to worry about traffic. But that wasn't what unsettled her. She stopped in front of an old antique shop, wedged between crumbling buildings, a place she had entered many times before, and yet, no matter how familiar it was, she could never quite shake the unease that crept up her spine. Taking a steady breath, she pushed open the wooden door. The scent of old books, polished wood, and faint incense greeted her. A single customer browsed a shelf, while a shop assistant stood nearby. Behind the counter sat the shopkeeper, an old man with a calm but watchful gaze. Still in disguise as the chief of security, Zephany approached him and muttered the familiar phrase, 0404. The shopkeeper barely reacted, offering only a brief glance before rising from his seat. "Follow me," he said, motioning towards the back. She trailed behind him through a narrow hallway which led to what appeared to be a small pantry. Shelves lined the walls, stacked with tea canisters and coffee beans. Everything looked ordinary, until the shopkeeper pressed a button on the coffee maker. With a soft click, part of the wall slid open, revealing a hidden elevator. Zephany sighed as she stepped inside. She had gone through this process countless times, yet it never made sense. The antique shop had no second floor, she knew that for a fact, and Air Media, the towering glass and steel building behind this place, had no connection to it. And yet, the elevator ascended. She watched the small panel, noting the 4 buttons: lobby, store, open, close. The shopkeeper pressed lobby, and the elevator began its silent climb. Leaning against the wall, she crossed her arms. "You'd think after all this time I'd stop questioning this," she muttered. The shopkeeper glanced at her, but remained silent. Zephany stared at the numbers ticking upwards. The same unease creeping in. How is this possible? The antique shop wasn't built on top of anything. There was no second floor, no hidden skyscraper above it, and yet here she was, rising as if heading to the top of a high rise. It made no sense. Or maybe it wasn't going up at all. She frowned. What if the numbers ticking upwards were a trick? What if the elevator was actually descending deep into the ground, rather than rising? An underground facility would make far more sense. Finally, the elevator came to a stop. The doors slid open, revealing a dimly lit hallway, with sleek, modern walls. A stark contrast to the dusty antique shop above. Or was it below? Zephany exhaled slowly and stepped out. No matter how many times she had been here, she never got used to it. But right now, she had more important things to focus on. She let out a slow breath, her thoughts racing. "Dad, I'm finally going to find out what happened to you."